So kindly let me know, is the screen visible and am I audible?
Yes, sir, everything clear.
Great. So friends, welcome to session number 5 of the free group. As promised, done 2 on finance, 2 on practice management and 1 on medical legal. So today's topic, although people don't find it that important, but for me, for any beginner, for any starter, uh, is it a dentist or maybe any person who's actually started out his profession and obviously is earning, so he would want to save tax. So anyone, yes, there might be conflicting views about it, but for me, for anyone who's just starting out, these are the two vital parameters. If he's a two-wheeler guy, then his first two wheels should be PPF and NPS. If he's a car guy, surely the front two wheels, which are more important than the back two wheels. Of course, there is no substitute for those two back wheels, sorry. uh, the front two wheels have to be PPF and NPS. How and why? Let's see in the slides unfolding from now. So as usual, we are all going through a grim time, but big thanks to Lord Almighty for keeping all of us till now safe, and pray for the future's thing as well. So we all know that faith surpasses all emotions, all feelings, and God is definitely bigger than the COVID-19. So when it comes to finance, I have to thank my dad as well, who was instrumental in teaching me the clinical part of finance. This is my brief biodata. You all are aware of it by now. So today's session is number 5 for 2021. Incidentally, all of them have been taken in April 2021. This is the last of season 1, and looking at the poor attendance, surely maybe one more season, but that too in the latter half of the year. So I've tried everything, right from articles to group sessions to short videos to webinars to long videos and whatnot. Nothing seems to work. Nothing seems to work. People are interested in their own reasons. I don't know how and why. Probably there might be some deficiency in my side, what I can think of. But then it is a personal choice. Life is always about priorities. For me, coming back to the today's session, two vital wheels of investment have always been PPF and NPS, especially since the last 5 years. For anyone who's starting off, as I said, this has to be the parameter. So these are the two starting points. As I said, PPF stands for Public Provident Fund. The NPS has multiple acronyms like National Pension Scheme, National Pension System, New Pension Scheme, or a New Pension System. Any of the words can be used interchangeably for each other, but the most commonly one followed is the National Pension Scheme or National Pension System. So these are the two vital wheels of investment for me. How and why will show. At this point of time, not undermining the importance of ELSS or the mutual funds or what we commonly call as the equity linked saving schemes. Not undermining the importance of it, but as I mentioned, these are the two starting points. Yes, people can start from mutual funds as well, but someone who's just starting out, he would look at other parameters rather than directly jumping into the market. Whatever we say, yes, it might be to an extent safe, the tax saving funds, but the returns are not guaranteed. At least there are some guaranteed aspects in these two wagon wheels of investment. So the most important question usually is, do we invest, do we save? Because it is all about the money, and which is really a hard earned one as well. So what are exactly investments done in ATC? To tell all of you, of course, all of you might be aware if you are in my group since past 4 years plus, you all might be aware, but just to brief you, whatever you earn, the gross income, I'm talking for the self-employed primarily, whatever you earn, let's suppose you have earned 100 rupees in your clinic annually, I'm talking, just a presumption. If your expenses are 50%, let's say your net income is 50 rupees. And if you're investing something like in these investments like ATC, ATCCD 1B, ATD, I'll give you a detail what all these are. you actually reduce. For example, all of these, let's say combined rupees 10 is invested in all of these, in PPF, in multiple other investments. So you pay tax on 50 minus 10 rupees 40. If you have earned 100 rupees, you don't pay tax on 100 rupees. Remember that. Then there are various other parameters as well, but let's not go into the detail for the sake of this topic. So these are the prominent investments which are done under Section 80C. Let's see a list of all these, what is included. I already gave you a list of 80C in the previous slide. So if you see investment in PPF, EPF for the salaried, the National Savings Certificate, NSC, life insurance premium, children's tuition fee. Children's tuition fee is a peanut amount out of the total list of the fee and the charges that you pay for your children for the whole month or maybe for the whole year. So that is the only tuition fee part is exempted, not the amalgamation fee or the building fee or the any other kind of funds or fees that are mentioned in the chart of the children's fee. So then Sukanya Samriddhi, unit-linked insurance plans, equity-linked savings scheme. So all these are a part of 80C. This is also known as the granddaddy of investment. All combined cannot exceed 1.5 lakh for the purpose of tax saving. For the purpose of wealth creation, you can go any amount upper. Of course, there are individual variations, like a PPF will not entail say allow investment over and above 1.5 lakh individually. If you put in by chance, by mistake, 2 lakh rupees, either your 50,000 would be refunded back at any point of time, or the remaining 50 would not earn any interest, sure. So you will get an interest only on the principal amount of 1.5 lakh for the year. Then all these are schemes. Then there are subsections of 80C, 80CC, CCC, 80CCD1, 80CCD2, and 80CCD1B. Even 80CCD1B is a subset of 80C. But yes, if you invest separately under NPS under 80CCD1B, you get additional 50,000. So for someone who's just starting out, let's suppose you earn 10 lakhs of income annually, I'm talking, that would be roughly 80,000 gross per month, presuming your 50, or let's put it in a different way. If you earn 10 lakhs, 50% is your expense, 5 lakhs are your expenses. So your net income is 5 lakhs. So let's suppose you invested 1.5 in PPF and 50,000 in NPS. So your tax outgo would be 5 minus 2. That is 3 lakhs. So just to explain you this thing, I'm not going into the tax calculation part, just to explain you this phenomenon only, how these things work. Obviously, there are other sections like 87A. So you don't pay any tax up to 5 lakh. There is you add the interest from savings income as well. You get a rebate of 10,000 as well. So leaving those things aside for a moment, 10 lakhs you earned, 50% or 5 lakhs was your clinic expenses, which you gotten rid of, or maybe you paid up, or you got the net income remains is 5 lakh. You invested 1.5 in PPF, 50,000 in NPS. So total 2 lakh is deducted from that 5 lakhs. You have to pay tax on those 3 lakhs. I hope I put across this point pretty clearly, because this is the basic mistake people do. They conceal income for this very reason, that 10 lakh 30% tax देना पड़ेगा, 3 lakh tax कौन देगा, छोड़ो. So that is, again, there are various slabs in calculation, again a matter of different day altogether. But even if you're earning 10 lakhs and invested just a basic amount, 1.5 plus 50, you're paying tax on 3 lakh rupees. And out of that, 2.5 lakh is already exempt. The basic exemption limit for any individual in India who's earning. So you're paying tax on a limited amount. So this is the mistake. We are actually not aware of many such things. Then there are various other sections which are not a part of 80C, 80TTA, like a saving interest for the normal individuals from 18 to 60. Then 80TTB, because the senior citizens survive only on the interest income. So their exemption is, instead of 10,000, it is 50,000. For any individual from 18 to 60, the exemption is only on the savings account income. For the elderly or the senior citizens, the 50,000 would include all kinds of interest income, maybe on the FD, RD, or any of the post office schemes. So all those schemes combined give an exemption of approximately 50,000 rupees. So then 80GG for the rent part. Interest on education loan. Yes, we are discussing loans in our MPG group. Today is the last session. We'll be discussing education loan today. Then 80EE for interest home loan, 80D for the medical insurance. So if you invest certain things, even in medical insurance, which is since the COVID has made it absolutely mandatory for everyone to have a medical insurance. So I guess you will be investing something in insurance part as well. So coming back to the same figures, if you invest just the bare minimum 25,000 in for your medical insurance for a family floater plan where you involve yourself, spouse, and children, you get a 25% further rebate. So what was remaining was 3 lakhs. So you pay tax on 2,75,000. So as I said, 2,50,000 is already exempt. So you pay tax only on 25,000. Just to explain in this example. So if you earned or grossed 10 lakh and just invested the bare minimum in these things, you're paying tax only on this. So again, different types of exemptions, then different matter for any other day altogether. I'm not going into detail of these. So let's come back to the main section, the first wagon wheel, the first wheel of investment, the PPF, the basic investment, the safest investment, the most favored investment all over India. So this was launched in 1968 by the Ministry of Finance. And again, this was meant to augment or to promote the small saving schemes in India, because this is one of the rarest schemes which is actually triple E. Exempt, exempt, exempt. Exempt at the time of investment, exempt at the time of accrual or growth, then exempt at the time of maturity. So many investments are ETT or EET, exempt, exempt, taxable, exempt, taxable, taxable. But PPF is one of the rare schemes along with Sukanya Samriddhi, which is for the girl child. Based on PPF lines only, but totally different from this line. But PPF falls in the triple E category. And of course, as I said, you can claim the deposit that you made towards your tax deduction. What I just told you, 10 minus 5 minus 1.5. So this is one of the most tax efficient instruments in India. And basic aim was to encourage the savings part. You can invest in one go. You could invest in 12 installments. Now even that has been changed. You can invest multiple times in a year. Earlier it was once a month or 12 times a year, or people preferred a lump sum to take the advantage of compounding. There are so many factors you should know: maturity period, your financial needs, your horizon, investment horizon, interest offered, premature withdrawal, deposit frequency, and tax treatment, which you should be aware. Of course, I'll be discussing all these aspects on both PPF and NPS. So what are the key features? These are actually having a floating rate. These are announced usually by the Government of India every quarter. Currently, it is 7.1. But if the economy is not volatile, they actually remain the same for throughout the year. They do not change, undergo a massive change. As on 31st March, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, our Honorable Finance Minister, actually downsized these 7.1 to 6.4. But then got up in the morning to realize that I have made April fool of people, reverted it back to 7.1. But present day it is 7.1. If the economy shrinks further because of COVID, the second wave which we are experiencing in India, there are chances that it would be shrunk to a lesser amount in the coming quarter, or in the quarter ending from April to June. So the time period of the scheme is 15 years. It can start from even a one-day baby, and there is no upper age limit. Of course, the one-day baby would be the minor one till the age of 18. The minor would be account would be under the guardianship of the major, either the father or the mother. Grandparents cannot be the guardian in a PPF scheme. So it has to be either father or the mother, either of the two parents. So once the scheme is over, the first lock-in period is 15 years. After that, it can be extended for a period of +5, +5, +5 unlimited times till the time you want. The mandatory part is that you have to deposit at least 500 rupees every year to keep the account active. But yes, if you're looking at the tax saving part, I don't think you should look at 500. You should look at 1.5 lakh. So once it is extended after 5 years, you have the option to continue the same with or without making any deposit. It is not mandatory to make any additional deposit. But then if you pick to choose the deposits that I am going to extend my account, I just want that whatever amount is accumulated, that should be earning the interest. Then you switch to non-deposit mode of the continuation of account. You can't change that afterwards. So initial investment is rupees 100. The annual is minimum 500 for the account to be kept active. And these things keep on changing, surely. So maybe because 100 is too small an amount and 500 is too small an amount for an annual contribution. So again, deposit has to be minimum once a year to keep the account active. If you don't keep the minimum deposit date with the bank or with the post office, wherever your account is, yes, it can be opened in any nationalized bank, all the post offices, and a few private banks like HDFC, IDBI, Axis, and maybe a couple more. So these are the private players also now in the fray for PPF. So then deposit modes, usually the cash was the preferred mode, but now cash has been disabled at most places, although some banks will keep on accepting, especially at smaller centers. The check, the pay order, the demand draft, or maybe an NEFT. If you are having a banking relationship with your savings account, you can open up a PPF in that account so that you can transfer through your own accounts or through your NEFT purpose in your PPF account. Then premature partial withdrawals are allowed because the lock-in period is long of 15 years. So that is why I always say start early. My first PPF account was opened by my dad in 1999. So I have already completed 15 plus 5 plus I am into the third year of my second tranche of 5 years. So it is still there because this is one amount my dad told me never to look at unless I was in a drastic need and my all avenues closed down. So then if you need a complete withdrawal, you have to wait for the maturity period. Yes, there have been adjustments made by the government. I'll be detailing you in the coming slides. As I said, it is a tax-free investment, and even the withdrawals are exempt from wealth tax. Wealth tax used to exist in Indian economy till I think 1998 or 2002. After that, it was given away. Somebody having a wealth of above 30 lakhs at that time had to pay a wealth tax. But then now wealth tax has been abolished. So all the withdrawals that you make at maturity are totally tax free. But remember, अगर आपके पास corpus अच्छा इकट्ठा हो गया है, let's suppose you have a 30 lakh of corpus, which is giving you tax free returns and you don't need the money, but you still say कौन investment करे, break करो इसको डाल लो. That amount, when it comes to your saving account, will still attract some interest, but that interest would be taxable. Remember that part. And you can't then say कि नहीं चलो मेरा PPF को दोबारा से start कर दो. The PPF once is closed will start from zero again. You again have to go through that cycle of 15 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So remember, think twice before closing your account. Then nomination, usually it was allowed, but now in any kind of investment in government sector or even in the stock market sector, nomination is almost a must for any investment made. Then you can't transfer to someone else. If I am, let's suppose, if somebody is dying, he say I wish to transfer this account in the name of my son. You can't do that. But if you having a account in a post office, you want to shift to a bank, or vice versa, you can do that easily without any hassles. So as I said, a renewal is allowed for extra 5 years at a time. इसमें partial नहीं होता है कि +2 कर लो, +3 कर लो, +5, +5, +5. Joint accounts are not allowed in PPF, surely. Then as I mentioned, it is under the triple E category. It is exempt at the time of investment, accrual means growth, and withdrawal, of course, or the maturity, as we say. So only one PPF account can be opened per person, but yes, majors can open the minor account under their guardianship for that reason. For tax saving purpose, all the combined, if let's suppose if the male head or the father decides to open the two accounts for the two children under his guardianship, rather than one under him and one under the mom or the mother. So all the, if it is under the guardianship of the father, all three accounts combined, the fathers and the two minors, for the tax saving purpose cannot have more than 1.5 lakh. For wealth creation, yes, you can go ahead and put in 1.5 in each, but for tax saving purpose, you won't get a rebate of above 1.5 lakhs. But then if you're putting it in 4.5 lakhs for two children and yourself, you need to have the source. Especially if you are doing it through the white income, then that is not an issue. You're transferring it in if it is a cash mode, which is allowed, then you might have to face proceedings or an inquiry from the income tax that as to what is the cash source of this investment made by you. Then, as I said, grandparents cannot be allowed or are not allowed to open an account under guardianship for the kids. So you can actually give a request on internet banking for private banks like SDFC and Axis, but otherwise you have to go physically to post office or a bank branch to open up the account. And trust me, it is a very easy process. A single page form for most of the nationalized banks, which is known as the form AOF. Now the names have been changed, I will tell you. Form AOF, account opening form, and Form E. Form E was basically for the nomination. So these were the two forms that were filled. And the good part is that in the nomination section, you can actually nominate multiple dependents with the amount of share that you want to actually accord to them. For example, if you are the father and you say, my 50% goes to my wife, 25% goes to my mother, 25% goes to my brother. So you can even nominate 3 people in your PPF account. Obviously, there is an option of 1 as well, but you can go for multiple nominations as well. Then one of the most important things which many people are not aware of it is that whatever you make before the 5th, deposits in the PPF account will only be considered for calculation of interest for that month. So if you are having net banking and the savings account and the PPF account in same, so preferably transfer through net banking, surely. Because if you are having a savings account in an Axis Bank and your PPF is in a State Bank of India, obviously you have to give a check. The check would be cleared sometime the next day, unless it is on a holiday. Usually there is some 1 or 2 holidays in the first 5 days. So if it is not a holiday, then it will be put into the clearing part. But sometimes the money keeps lying in the bank's suspense account. Either you follow it up so that it is transferred after a check transfer. But if not, if you are not able to follow up properly, then preferably have it in the same account. Because if you don't follow up, usually the bank makes entries round about a 9th or the 10th of the month. Whatever the money is lying in suspense account, they transfer to the desired PPF accounts accordingly. So what does that mean? That you actually transferred money from your savings account, you lost the interest on that, And if this is entered into your PPF account after 5th, so you don't get the PPF interest also for that month. So you lose on both the counts. So be aware of this date of 5. As I've given an example below, that for example, if your balance is showing in balance of 1 lakh on September 1st and a deposit is made on September 7, so interest will be on 1 lakh only for the month of September and not on 1.5 lakh. And you lose, because this amount has been transferred from your savings, you lose interest on 50,000 also from your savings as well for that month. So if you don't make an annual deposit of rupees 500 minimum, it will lead to deactivation. So deposits can be made in a lump sum or in spread of 12 installments as it was. Now that thing has been changed. As I said, I'll come to those slides. So till 2009, the limit was 70,000 instead of 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh. Then it became, in 2009, it became 1 lakh. Then in 2014, Mr. Arun Jaitley, the late finance minister, raised it to 1.5. So since 2014, it is standing at 1.5 lakhs only. So you can't close your PPF account before maturity unless there is a demise of the account holder or the PPF account holder. So if your account is inactive, then you firstly have to activate it by paying a penalty. Penalty is not much. It is usually 50 to 100 rupees. But then if it has been deactivated for 3 years, you pay penalty for each year, which is 50 or 100. I'm not sure, but it is of either of the amount, plus the contribution due. So 500, 500, 500 for 3 years to make that account active, plus the penalty to revive it. So you pay close to 1,800 rupees to revive it, but then you still can't withdraw your funds till the end of 18 years. So after the completion of 15 years, you can close your account. And for that, you have to contact the bank within the first 5 days of April. Because if you don't do that, usually they auto renew it for another 5 years unless you specify it otherwise. So sometimes people say lock-in period is long, but I sometimes might need to withdraw. Ideally, you should not withdraw. You should look at other sources of funds if you need the money. But then what exactly are the rules for withdrawing the money? You can actually, the capping has been made on 2 bases. Either the 50% balance at the end of 4th year, counting from the year of withdrawal. If it is your, say, 6 years have been completed and you're talking of maybe in the April year, whatever balance was there at the end of 4th year, 50% of that, or 50% of the total balance added at the end of the year before the year of withdrawal. So there are 2 options which are available, because sometimes people will make very lesser deposits. So then the calculation is based upon that only. But then whatever partial withdrawal that you're allowed only once a year. Let's suppose you are eligible for, as per these 2 options, you are eligible for an option of withdrawal of 4 lakh rupees. For example, you decide, my immediate need is 2 lakhs, so I will withdraw 2 lakhs only. So once you withdraw those 2 lakhs, maybe 2 months down the line, you realize, 1-2 lakh aur chahiye. So you go back, you can't do that, because that is possible, allowable only once a year. So as I said, 5-year extension +5, you can go about that part. So the best option is, what advantage another is available in PPF is that you can actually take a loan against PPF. But then you can take a loan between the 3rd and the 6th year only. If the account is beyond 6 years, you cannot take a loan. It is a parameter which is there. What exactly is the loan interest? Loan interest is about currently at 1%. Earlier it was 2%. You won't get the interest for that period, and you pay back only 1%. So if it is 7.1, you are paying back actually 8.1 interest, but still only 1% is going from your pocket. So loan is at the 25% of the balance at the end of the previous year. Costs you 1% per year and has to be paid back within 3 years. So before you pay back one loan, you cannot take another loan on PPF. So the maturity date is not calculated from the date of opening the account. It is actually for the year. For example, let's suppose you opened up your account last year on December 30th. So your first year would be counted on 1st April 2021, this month only. So your lock-in period will be till 1st April 2036. So it is about the whole year. So if you opened up in March 2021, this year only, or maybe last month, if you opened up a PPF, you actually got a discount of 11 months. Your 1 year completed on 1st April. So this is the way the account is calculated as such. So 5 changes which have come in PPF account rules in the last financial year. So the number of restriction, removal of restrictions has been done. You could make only 12 deposits earlier. Now you can make unlimited deposits in the whole year. But remember, the deposit duration is between 1st to 5th only. That should be there. Then additional 2 reasons have been allowed for premature closure of the account. And those 2 reasons are, number one, maybe if you need higher education, you need money for the higher education of the kid in the family or your maybe child, then you need to provide the desired documents and you can ask for premature closure of the account. The second new reason that has been added is that if your status changes from resident to NRI, that you decide to shift to Australia, Canada, or whichever country, and you need the money. So if you get a citizenship or you become an NRI, you will be allowed to close the premature account, close the account prematurely. Then the continuation of PPF account after 15 years without making deposits has been now allowed. Interest rate, as I mentioned earlier, it used to be 2%. Now it is 1%. So there have been changes in the forms for PPF account as well. As I mentioned, it was known as AOF and Form E. Now the names have been changed. So AOF is now changed to Form 1 now. For application or for loan or withdrawal, Form 2. For closure, Form 3. For extension, Form 4. For premature closure, Form 5. So earlier there was, say you had to give an application. Now different forms have been notified in the previous financial year by the Government of India, by the Finance Ministry basically. So these are a few things that you need to take into account. So if we make a comparison returns wise, presently PPF is giving 7.1, considered to be the safest option. You have a comparable NSE 6.8%, but then it is EET, taxable at maturity. Tax saving FDs, again, double ET, fully taxable. Then hybrid funds, we all know, taxable fully before 3 years and after that 20% on the LTCG. Then ELSS beyond 1 lakh taxed at 10%. Equity funds, short term at 15, long term at again 1% above is 10%. Then NPS. NPS, I'll come to details, but then it is market linked. To an extent, the returns are guaranteed. You get a double deduction. If you don't want to put in under 80C, you can put in the whole amount of 2 lakhs under NPS as well. So that option is also available. So if you see in this chart, deduction under 80C and 80CCD 1B. If you remember the chart I showed you in the beginning, 80CCD 1B was the additional 50,000 that you got as a rebate other than the 80C of 1.5 lakhs. So what exactly are the other details of this? I'll be covering up in the slides for NPS. So let's come to now NPS, so the National Pension System or the National Pension Scheme, which actually is one of the favored investments after 2015, surely. So NPS or National Pension System is a voluntary defined contribution pension system in India. And it actually started in 2004. Many of colleagues are not aware that it actually started in 2004. Earlier, it was meant for government employees, but for private sector, it was opened up in 2009 by Dr. Manmohan Singh. the then Prime Minister of India. And then basic aim is to actually help individuals to make a decision regarding their investments in wealth. So the government's bottom line aim is to decrease their liability for the government employees, where actually they have to pay the pension till the person is deceased. So this is actually a way to decrease their own load and liability. And the current EPF rules mandate that an employee has to mandatorily put in his share in the NPS, because otherwise the government share will not be added over there. So now, similar to PAN, there is a PRAN which is existing with this. So we call it the permanent retirement account number, which is allocated, which is actually similar to a PAN, but it is not alphanumeric. It is only numeric. But what I mean to say is that it is then source of identity. It is in a similar shape like a PAN card. The only difference is that the PAN card is a green in color, but the NPS card is blue in color. Similar size, similar format, like a government ID, it can be used. Although it is very less popular and a few people don't accept it as an ID card, but yes, it is equally acceptable because the government of India stamp is there. So you have the two options to open up the account, tier 1 and tier 2. I'll come to that. But as I mentioned in the chart, the NPS is allowed an exemption of additional 50,000, and you can go in for the exemption of 1.5 as well. The rider is that it should be 10% of your gross income. So for example, if your gross income is 20 lakhs, you can inculcate 10% of that, 2 lakhs wholly under NPS and still get a rebate of 2 lakhs under that example I gave, 10 minus 5 minus 2. The 2 can also, the whole can be in the NPS only. So when you go to open up the account, how to open, I'll tell you. So you get two options, tier 1 and tier 2. So tier 1 is a mandatory one. Tier 2 is an optional account. I myself don't have a tier 2 account. Tier 2 is actually akin to or similar to a savings bank account. I don't need it. I already have a savings bank account. So why do I need to block my money in that? So tier 1 is basically the basic account. Again, premature withdrawals are not allowed unless you complete 15 years. There are a lot of changes which keep on happening in NPS as well. So I'll be mentioning a few of them, but a lot of them are already underway. And as I read yesterday also, there has been some changes which are recommended by the PFRDA, the Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority of India. It has actually mandated a few changes still to be accepted. But then these withdrawals are repayable advances and only in cases of emergencies. There are different options where you can actually invest in tier 1 account. And as I mentioned, tier 2 accounts are actually like a similar to a savings bank account. So you can withdraw your money without any withdrawal charges or penalty. It works like a saving bank account only. So again, tier 2 will give you an option as well to invest in government bonds or fixed equity or any fixed income instruments. But it also allows to transfer money to tier 1 in case of paying installment or investing in the NPS section tier 1. So, but the only advantage is it doesn't have a lock-in period and it is not covered. As I said, it functions like a saving bank account only. So for the PPF, you actually had to go in for the bank, go in physically to the bank to do it. For NPS, you really don't need to go to the bank even once. You can do everything online. The best way to open up is through the enps.nsdl.com. This is the online site. Click on the National Pension System and you can actually open up your account either based on Aadhaar authentication or based on PAN authentication. I'll prefer to open it under the PAN authentication because that is an easier process, and of course, Aadhaar process is not difficult, but then the biometric Aadhaar was disabled till some time back. Again, it keeps on being enabled or not being enabled. It is a personal choice, but PAN authentication remains enabled. So once you are done with it, once your account is opened up, then you can set, you are given your MPIN and a TPIN, the login pin and the transaction pin, and then you can log in with your pin to check your investments under this. Everything can be done online for NPS. People go to banks, many banks are not aware. We talk of incompetent dentists or doctors, sorry to say, but there are incompetent bank employees as well. So when you can trust your own self, why to do that? So what are the features? Unlike PPF, which actually could be started from day one of the baby being born, obviously you need a birth certificate for that, so which doesn't arrive within minimum 5 to 6 days. So unless you get a birth certificate, you can't start a PPF. But what I mean is there is no age limit in that. But for now, the NPS age limit is 18 to 65. You have to be an adult to do that. And again, a minimum contribution is 5,000 at the time of opening the account. So it is one of the low cost mutual funds, if I can say. Obviously, it is a pension fund, kind of a mutual fund only, but it comes with a low cost investment. बहुत कम expenses होते हैं, just about 10 rupees, 15 rupees per quarter for your investment. So which is hardly say cost in that. So you can choose your own schemes and check how the investments are doing. What are the schemes that you can choose? I'll tell you in coming slides. So earlier you have had to withdraw the amount at 60. Now the age was extended up to 65, but now it is 7070. You can make contributions to your national pension account, NPS account, till the age of 7070 as well. So as I said, there are so many things happening, and yes, you have to be aware many things are changing. So what exactly is the tax status? Before December 2018, I myself opened my account in December 2018. So before 2018, it was double ET, partially exempt, but partially taxable as well. You actually, whatever amount is collected, you get to withdraw 60% of that. For example, your amount collected, if you are 40 and you have invested till 65 or 70, I expect you would be having minimum of 35 to 40 lakhs. So let's suppose the figure is 40 lakhs. You are allowed to withdraw 24 lakhs lump sum. But for the remaining 16 lakhs out of that 40 lakh, you are required to purchase an annuity scheme, which will give you a monthly pension. Similar to an MIS kind of a thing, monthly income scheme, where your money is actually invested in a particular investment and you get a return over it like a monthly pension. Of course, the whatever pension you get is taxable as per your slab at your age, but whatever 60 you have gotten, that is absolutely tax free. Earlier, that 60 was divisible into 40 and 20. Only 40 was tax free, 20 was taxable. Now whole 60 was made tax free in December 2018. So again, contributions can be done under 80C. As I mentioned, the opening process is very, very, very simple. It is not difficult at all. Apart from your PAN authentication, you need a photograph, you need a cancelled check, and you need a scanned signature. So you need just 3 or 4 things, and you can easily open up your own account online without needing that your bank wouldn't do that. If you do it on a working day, Monday in the day, your account would be opened up by Wednesday afternoon in less than 48 hours. But if you do in offline hours or maybe on a Saturday, Sunday, then obviously add a day or two for the processing part. So, and you get a e-pran within a day, or the number is allotted immediately. The e-pran is issued to you within less than 4-5 days, and the physical PAN arrives to you in 10 to 11 days, like the PAN card. So again, like a PAN, it is a unique identity. The PRAN is also a unique identity number. So you can access your details anywhere. So it is not with a bank, so that if you are a salaried employee and you are, say, yourself being transferred from one place to another, you don't have to say transfer NPS account. It exists with the ENPS trust, and it is a portable kind of thing that wherever you go, the account goes with you only. So there are a lot of options to choose from. You can choose your PFM as per your wish. This is not a post-infused to middle ground. This is the PFM is the pension fund manager. Earlier there were only 2 managers. Now there are 7 or 8, I guess. SBI, Kotak, UTI, Axis. Sorry, UTI, Axis are one same thing. UTI, LIC, and to Aditya Birla Sun Life, HDFC. I think these 7 are there. So you have the flexibility to choose the fund manager and the options once a year, and that is allowed free of cost. You can choose your contribution amount as well. As I said, it is a very, very low cost investment option in which the expense for fund management is pretty much less, in just a few tenors or 20 rupees or 30 rupees. That is hardly the amount which is possible, and that is only chargeable per quarter only. So premature withdrawal, again, it is not permitted, but only a few circumstances like critical illness also. There are a few clauses mentioned as well. So let's start from the basic part, the tier 1 and the tier 2. Tier 1 is a mandatory account. Obviously, there are restrictions for withdrawal till the retirement. Tier 2 is a voluntary account, optional account, whether you want to open, similar to a savings account. You can withdraw as per need. So partial withdrawal, when is it allowed? It is only if you are contributing for 3 consecutive years, if there has been no break, and it is allowed in cases of serious illness, higher education, or the marriage of children, or maybe for the purchase of your house as well. There are quite a few options. For serious illnesses, there is a whole list of the diseases which has been provided by the PFRDA, in which for your treatment, the withdrawal of NPS funds would be allowed. The majority of them include the kidney failure, cancer, paralysis, stroke, heart attack, heart surgery, and multiple sclerosis, amongst a few others. So even if you say want to open up your business, or maybe for your own employability, even that option has been added. As I said, NPS is still in nascent stages, because the first amendment to make it EET happened in December 18. So it's not even 3 years. So many changes have happened just after that only to make this option lucrative for the government of India. And there are quite a few things which are possible in this. So keep on notifying the changes. As I said, many changes have recently been submitted as early as last week to the government of India. Still under approval, but still pending approval. But yes, there are chances that those might be changed. So what are the benefits? As I said, number 1, it is a voluntary one. It is your choice, whatever amount to it. It is not about the 50,000 that you get as a tax saving or a tax rebate or a tax deduction. It is, you can go unlimited in that as well. It is as per amount you want to spare, you can invest in that. Obviously, tax saving or tax deduction would be available only at 50,000, but for wealth creation, you can grow in over there. If I talk of the return wise scenario, NPS is currently the number 2 investment return wise speaking. The first is, of course, the mutual funds. The second is the NPS, and the third is PPF / Sukanya Samriddhi. Sukanya Samriddhi has a rider of girl child because it has 0.5 more than the PPF, but then this is there. Last year, when market crashed in similar time in April, March 2020, NPS became the number 1 investment in the total investments available, albeit for a short time before the mutual funds gained their position back by September or October. So it is simple. You have to open your account either with any of the POPs, point of presence. There is a whole list. It can be a bank also, can be a post office also, but I'll prefer to open through the ENPS, the enps.nsdl.com. The link I showed you in the photograph, same link is mentioned over there. So benefits include flexibility. You can choose your own investment options, how to grow. You can see them growing and they are portable. Even if you change the city, they are regulated by the PFRDA. So the transparency is there, performance monitoring is there. If the PFMs conduct any problem, any harakiri, they are actually bound to face regulatory issues from the big daddy. Their big daddy is PFRDA. So what are the options? Once you open up the account, during the time of opening, it'll give you what do you want, an active choice or an auto choice. If you are not a very savvy investor, you don't have a knowledge of doing it, you can go in for the auto choice. So otherwise, if you want to control your money, how does it go, or the percentage wise, I'll tell you what the percentages are. You can go in for an active choice. In active choice, you can select the allocation percentage in each of the asset class. So you have to exercise the choice of the investment after specifying the percentage. Yes, there are certain bars on doing that. So what are the asset classes available? They are basically E, C, and G. E is for equity, C is for corporate debt, and G for GSECs, or the government securities, as they say. So high return risk in equity, obviously, but then the returns are also handsome. Then the debt has the fixed instrument predominantly, and the GSECs are safe, but again, low income, low interest category. So all of them fall in the three categories: high return, high risk, medium return, medium risk, and low return, low risk. So there are alternative investments available as CMBS, MBS, REITs, AIFs. So what exactly? Commercial mortgage-based securities, MBS are mortgage-based securities, REITs are real estate investment trusts, or AIFs, alternate investment funds. So you can choose if you're conservative one, you can actually choose to invest your entire in C or G. What was C? C means corporate debt. So basically, you can say E, D, or G as well. But for classification, it is ECG. But you can, if you're conservative, you can put entire wealth in your debt or government class, because you believe that you can't tolerate the risk of the equity. But then your growth will also be lesser. But if you want to have exposure to equity, you can allocate maximum 50% to your asset class, or maybe up to 5 in alternate investment or the AIFs. So in the active choice, you are given to choose to put in, as I mentioned, you can describe or design your portfolio by designating a particular percentage. This percentage you have to select at the time of opening up your account as well. But there is no worries if you even select the wrong asset class, or the wrong percentage, or the wrong choice as well, or the wrong PFM as well. ये मेरे को तो मैं रिटर्न्स वाइज देखूं तो एक कौन अच्छा फंड मैनेजर है, नहीं LIC के रिटर्न्स अच्छे हैं, SBI के रिटर्न्स अच्छे हैं. तो later you come to know, or maybe you find that SDFC is giving you one of the best results. You want to change that, you can change all of that. You can change your fund manager, you can change your active or auto choice, you can change your percentage as well. So all that is allowed, of course, once a year only. So again, all those things to be done very, very easily online by yourself only. So sometimes it can be time consuming in auto, but in auto, the percentages are defined as per your age. It is not that somebody at the age of 30 and somebody at the age of 50 opting for an auto choice will have the same percentage. The exposure to equity decreases with age. A younger investor can be aggressive, so his allocation in equity would be higher if you pick up an auto choice. So what are the percentages available in auto? Auto, you get 3 options. Again, as a subheading: aggressive choice, moderate choice, or conservative choice. So in aggressive, it is LC 75, or maybe up to 35, you get exposure of 75 in equity. If you choose a moderate, your equity exposure would be limited to 50%. If you're a conservative investment, your equity exposure would be 25. As I said, in an active choice, if you choose, you can keep 50-50 in these two, C and G. You can totally omit an equity if you are not a risk-taking investor, so that your money remains on the safer side as well, and you don't have to worry about. But yes, you have to be sure that the returns would be lesser as well. So in that regard. So then you can change your scheme preference auto to aggressive, and then again aggressive, moderate, or conservative. Then you can choose your fund manager as well, and you are allowed to do everything at least once a year through your online login sites. So there are multiple PFMs, as I mentioned, 7 of them. PFMs usually, and they are all creditable ones. So there is no choice that any of them will actually run away with your money. So don't worry about those options. So you can choose any one fund manager. Obviously, selecting one of the fund managers is mandatory. You can still leave the auto and the aggressive thing, auto and the active to the fund manager, but you have to select one of LIC, SBI, Kotak, UTI, and all those other options available. Aditya Birla Sun Life, HDFC, all those options. So you can actually check for your performance on the website as well, NPS Trust return of your scheme. So you are, as I mentioned, you are allowed to change the PFM and the scheme percentage once a year. So what are the other benefits? As I said, it is open to every Indian citizen from 18 to 60 and is entirely voluntary. Then you have the choice to decide how much you want to contribute. Then extremely easy online process, and you can choose to invest your money or manage your investments yourself very, very easily. You can access from anywhere. So there is a regulatory standard that is being adhered to since there is a big daddy controlling them. So then you get a short pension for life. Just to mention here, if your total corpus is close to 2 lakhs or less than 2 lakhs or up to 2 lakhs, you won't get a 60-40 option. The whole 100% would be given to you actually at the time of your maturity of the plan. Then your family is taken care of if you're no more. Automated risk reduction with age. As I mentioned, the exposure to equity decreases with age. There is no commitment except for the minimum amount that you're going to do. And tax saving is beyond 80C, additionally in the form of 80C CD1B, and maturity amount tax benefits. As I said, 60% of the amount is tax-free. So to sum it up, the features are flexibility of investing, risk reduction strategy inbuilt, their tax benefits as well. So it is now one of the excellent retirement tools, surely. So then the only thing that you need is to actually being very diligent and continue to save towards your goals all along your working path or all along your growth path. So evaluation of fund managers is also usually taken up by PFRDA on a routine basis. So one of the best tax saving instrument these days, 60% tax free, and now this thing 40% is required to be purchased as a corpus or an annuity. As I said, the change happened in 2018. Earlier, it was 40% was exempted. Now 60% is exempted. So all in all, now 60% exempt. Expect the remainder 40% to also come under one scanner or the other coming to over there. So recently, the age limit was raised to now to 70, not to 65. Sorry, this is an old slide. So now it is raised to 70 as well. You can contribute even up to 70 now. So this is the correct one. So you can contribute up to the age of 70, but you can open up your account till 65, not 60. Earlier it was 18 to 60. Now you can open up your account from 18 to 65, but you can contribute up to 70 as well. That you need your money not at 60 but at 70, because that is the change that the government has been making. So only 15 to 16% government employees. So that is the reason it was opened up to self-employed in 2009. And usually many people work in informal or unorganized sector. So that is the reason the scheme was introduced and passed on to the general public as well. So anyone can open an account, not only the self-employed, any retailer, trader, even a daily laborer can open an account. Of course, it depends upon what you want to do. So this is a list of all the PFMs. So Birla Sun Life, HDFC, ICICI, I forgot ICICI, of course, sorry. So Kotak, LIC, Reliance Capital, SBI Pension, UTI Retirement Solutions. So all the data are available, that how what is their 1 year, 3 year, 5 year returns of various asset class, and depending upon the fund manager you choose. So if you believe that a certain particular fund manager is giving you good returns, you can select that, you can switch that. I myself started with the Birla Sun Life, but then I shifted to HDFC year or so back. So this is one thing you actually can choose as per your wish and will. So if you are still confused what to do of these two investments, because people believe that nahi, mutual funds are still the best. Try to understand the logic behind today's presentation, which will be covering in the last few slides. So firstly, let's compare the two of them, PPF and the NPS. Anyone can open 18 to 65 now. Not this is again an old slide. 18 to 65. NRI is not eligible for PPF, but yes, they are eligible for NPS. So maturity period 15 plus 5 plus 5. Maturity, you can extend the investment up to 70 years as well. And the date of joining is now till 18 to 65. So investment limit minimum 500, maximum 1.5. Maximum of 12 was allowed. Now this is also changed to unlimited. So minimum contribution is 500 rupees. They have calculated on the monthly basis for the whole year. There is no cap on that. But if it does not exceed 10% of your salary or 10% of your gross total income, in case you are self-employed. As I mentioned, if you have 20 lakhs of income, you can contribute 2 lakhs in NPS flat without giving anything to your PPF. But yes, if you can do 2 lakh in PPF, 2 lakh in NPS as per your 10% gross income and 1.5 in that, imagine the amount of corpus in your without the mutual funds. Of course, you'll be going for mutual fund as well. So that is the amount. The reason when I mentioned that you have to put in 5 lakhs every year, there is a reason for that. So then there are other options, other comparisons, partial withdrawal, which I've already detailed. How to choose your investment? No. In this, you can choose actually returns are fixed on the rates decided by the government, usually floating ones done every quarterly. So this is market linked. Risks are there, but they are comparatively much lesser. Don't need to purchase an annuity. In this, you need to purchase an annuity. So again, if the confusion is there, what should I do? I have been told that if I have to beat the inflation, I have to actually invest in the mutual funds or the ELSS or for the tax saving purpose. What I advise is, let's see, let's look at the summary for today. So NPS versus PPF is a tough question. You don't have to, I would not want you to choose between the two, because if you think of post-retirement fund, PPF is usually one thing. My dad actually, when NPS was not there, or even we had not opted for the NPS, my dad used to tell me that PPF is an immune money. God forbid any of your investments, any of your, say you fall into the tax radar and the income tax department seizes, freezes all your money, all your bank accounts, lockers, they still cannot touch your PPF money. So you need to understand that PPF is immune. He also said, till you have absolute last option left, don't touch the PPF. And my employer in my nursing home where I was working from 2000 to 2003, he actually told me in the morning OPD, of course, he told me that I will give every money of mine to my kids. I will give my house to my kids. But PPF is one thing that I will not give to anyone. So imagine this is the importance of the PPF money. So the returns are secured over the long period. But then NPS has now caught up. As I said, in current times, it is the number 2 investments after the mutual funds. So when the additional deduction was accorded in the NPS, it still was not much favored. But when the returns became 60% became totally tax-free, it actually has become very important part of your portfolio since then. So it is a great retirement saving schemes as well along with PPF. So if you have to choose for your children's education, daughter's marriage, you can break your NPS as well. But then there are both options. It should not be that a PPF scores over NPS in certain regards, but NPS does score back. It should not be a versus fight. It should be an all in all and an inclusive fight in that. So if you are sleepy after 1 hour of lecture and you feel that I have bored you, I'm really sorry. But to give you a few points for your carry home, as I always give the carry home Gyan. So both of them are voluntary and they have different features. Both are long-term investments, but BPF is a fixed instrument, which is in GSEC or the government security kind of a thing. The NPS has market-linked features. Both are ATC, but in NPS you get an additional 50,000. NPS can encompass ATC plus ATCCD1B. You can do all 2 lakhs in that, but PPF can only for 1.5 lakh. So you can invest any of these or both of these. I'd advise both of these. But for NPS, you should have a slightly higher risk appetite and you should be prepared for a longer lock-in period for the NPS part. So on what basis you should choose between the PPF and NPS? Due to the equity exposure, if you choose 50-50 option of equity and debt, the long-term debt would give you 8 and the equity will give you 12, for example, just to presume. So your total net return would be 10%, considering your amounts are 50-50 in each. So if the PPS is 7.1, NPS is still almost 9 to 11% of returns. So you know what to choose. If it comes to, I rather advise the reverse. So if you're still not very sure what to choose, what to invest, where to invest, let me give you the last slide as the moral of the story for today. It is again in comparison, 60 to 70 upon retirement, 12 to 14. Yes, 9 to 11 is industry accepted average. The interest rates are 7.1. So, and all those things which I've already discussed. So what my final moral of the story or my final advice to all of you is both are not to be ignored wheels of the portfolio. As I mentioned just at the start, if you're a starter and having a two-wheeler, these are the two wheels of your portfolio. Additional ones can be done as a stipney, but these are not to be ignored part, especially in today's times. But yes, if you are having a car and investing in multiple asset class, this should be your first two front wheels of the car. So always start with these two when you have limited funds or a reasonable outgo. हमेशा हम लोग बोलेंगे कि शुरू में फंड ज्यादा. Yes, you have higher risk taking ability, you have lesser liabilities, but then you have lesser income as well, and you are afraid as well कि थोड़े से तो पैसे हैं वो भी डूब गए तो. So obviously people would invest only in those things. But अगर bare minimum investment अगर आपने 15 से 16,000 per month करना invest, I think that is easier enough for everyone to do. If 15 to 16,000 you multiply by 12 months, it is roughly 2 lakhs. So if you have just 2 lakhs to invest in the year, as a starter, your basic concept should be to think both of them. Because I always believe for any beginner, the first aim should be tax saving. पहली 2 steps चढ़ोगे तभी आप 9th-10th step of wealth creation पे जाओगे ना. So if you are looking only at 2 lakhs, look at these two. Yes, an additional amount to spare, maybe 10,000, 20,000 more. Start in the choice of your fund or the recommended fund. So that you are not actually totally away from the risks of the market and of course the returns of the market. But as you graduate into higher income source with the growth of your clinic, you can go into wealth creation and of course invest more in other asset classes, predominantly the mutual funds, which are there, which will give you actually the power to beat the market or power to beat the inflation. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. I hope the past 70 minutes was worth it spending some time over here. So this is my contact email and website. My YouTube channel, you all are aware of it. Just now I received a link for the video, so you'll be getting same today as well, and the coming days will be full of webinars every alternate day starting Sunday 2nd May onwards. So if you forget the link, just go to YouTube and search Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. I keep on posting videos every now and then. So my social media presence all by my name, Dr. Bhavdeep, without any name, underscore, or space. But the web Facebook page is by Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. So do send me your valuable feedback in the WhatsApp group. Bookers and Brickbats both would be welcome in equal measure. Although you are just 8 of you currently present. At the start, we were 10. So that is the reason the season 1 is ending now, because of absolutely poor attendance from all of you. There is no denying the fact about that. So thank you once again. And I stop my screen for a query, any query from you. Thank you, Dr. Sethi. So there should never be a comparison between the two. These are actually both should be a part of our portfolio. So why does account managers different in performance? Because of their market reputation, because of their investments, because of their fund managers, because ultimately the PFMs have to invest the money in other assets. So if if I ask you a question, if everything in stock market, why is HDFC and Bajaj shares on the higher side and someone from the other ones are on the lower side? So the same difference applies to that. It is a composite thing. The market reputation is actually very important in that regard. So I hope you get the answer. Thank you, Dr. Rohit. Is ECS available for PPF? I don't think so. ECS option is available for PPF. No, I'm not really sure. You have to physically go and deposit, or maybe transfer yourself. As far as I know, there is no bank mandate option available for that reason. Any more queries, or we call it a day? Thank you, Dr. Parul.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Dr. Marvi.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask about the loans on PPF, loan against PPF. Like you said, you can start from the 3rd year. I didn't get that.
The loan option is available between 3rd and the 6th year of the first 15 years.
Since not before
not before
of
3rd year.
years.
Not before 3rd year.
Okay.
And after 6 years, only if you have paid back the previous loan.
Okay, sir.
Because that loan has to be paid back within 3 years.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Divya. Dr. Rohit, no online PPF auction is not available. You can give an online request and the banks will contact you. Usually it happens for private banks only, like Axis and HDFC, but for a nationalized bank, you have to go. It is not a very tedious process, unlike a savings account, which also in today's days has a lot of pages, which cannot, which you find it tedious to fill sometimes. PPF is usually in the nationalized banks. It is a single page form, the front and the back, and along with the form nomination. But yes, after your account is opened up, it is visible in your net banking. You can do everything online. You can transfer the money into that. You can view your balance. You can view your interest being added. Interest is added in PPF only once a year, that too on 31st of March. Not in various installments, only in single interest payable for the whole year. Yeah.
Sir, good morning, sir. Thank
Raghu.
you very much for the wonderful session.
Your voice is cracking up. Your voice is cracking
what
up.
About this? Do we have an sorry, sir?
Voice, Raghu, your voice is cracking up. Didn't hear anything.
Oh. Is it better now, sir?
Yeah, better.
I just thought of asking, like, once we chose an active selection, can we go back to the automatic selection?
Yes,
sir? Like,
I
can
mentioned
we
it.
switch between these
Mentioned
in
multiple
NPS?
times. You have the
Okay,
option
sir.
to choose anything. Yeah.
That's very confusing, sir. Sometimes the lane which we stand, no, they don't move. The other lanes move. Sometimes it's really confusing. Like, if you are on the right track, what do you really advise, sir? To go on an active or on the other mode, sir?
Active mode. Youngsters active mode always.
Yes, sir. You would recommend like 1.2 lakhs per year in NPS. That's what I've been listening to you as, like how you said earlier. Is that right, sir? At least 1.2 lakhs in NPS.
If you're going for tax saving part, minimum 1.5 plus 5, 2 lakhs minimum.
Yes,
If you're
sir.
walking on wealth creation part and money is not an issue for you, then you should put in 10% of your gross salary or gross income. For example, if it is 20 lakh, 2 lakh in your NPS, 1.5 in your PPF, and for mutual funds, the sky is the limit. 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs. Because for an ideal retirement solution or an ideal alternate RIP, as I mentioned, I always say minimum 5 lakhs a year. Minimum 5 lakhs a year. That is 40,000 per month. But if you can do beyond that, 7 to 8 lakhs per year, that would be wonderful. But if you are doing 7 to 8 per lakh per year, remember, only 50% has gone to your NPS and PPF. And only the fixed return wise is only 1.5. And 2 lakh is still market linked as well, which is the second growing investment. So if you're doing 7 to 8 lakhs per year, go 1.5 plus 2 in both of them. But yes, if you're a starter, think of 1.5 plus 0.5, 2 lakhs. If you are a medium stage guy or a 5 lakh guy, then 2 lakh plus 3 lakh for the other investments. As I mentioned, minimum 5 lakhs for the year. So I hope the segregation is clear to you by beginner, medium, and settled one. 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 8 lakhs. That is my categorization, not anything between.
No, that would answer everybody's doubt, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Can we switch between auto or active for NPS anytime? Yes, anytime, but only once a year, once in a financial year. That is the only. I'm unable to open PPF on April of this year. So should I wait till next year? Even if you open today, you can put in, because if you open up late, you will lose the compounding advantage. For example, if you open up even today, it is 30th April, or maybe tomorrow, 1st of May, the banks are working tomorrow. Then whatever amount you put in will earn for at least 11 months of the year. If presuming your account is opened and you put in an investment before the 5th of May, you will at least earn for 11 months of the year. So if you open up late, you will lose the advantage of earning the interest for these 11 months. I hope I'm clear in that regard.
Yes, sir.
So if I have one amount to be invested, sorry, sir. Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
If I have an amount in hand to be invested, which should I go for first, sir? For the PPF or the NPS? If I plan for both, the first thing would be which of the two, sir?
Amount kitna? Amount of the whole year. What are the figure are you looking at?
50,000. I just got 50,000 in hand. I'm thinking which should I go for first?
NPS.
Okay, sir. Because that can give me higher returns.
Because returns wise, it is more lucrative, no doubt about it.
So isn't it advisable to invest 1,50,000 together?
Prabjit, your voice is not clear.
So is it okay now?
Just keep the mic close to your.
Is it clear now, sir?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. So I was saying that isn't it better to invest the entire 1,50,000 in one go in the PPF rather than giving in installments, because you get the full compounding on that amount?
I always mention this thing in all my sessions. My whole PPF and Sukanya is completed for my kids. And for myself, 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 for 2 kids in PPF, 2 kids in Sukanya, and for my own PPF, 7.5 lakhs gets deducted on 2nd of April. That is there because I don't want to lose on compounding advantage. The 12 installments or the unlimited installments is for only for those who can't actually spare money. I'm at that stage of life that I can actually put in that amount. So I don't want to lose out on compounding advantage. So ideally advisable is before the 5th of April only to earn for the whole year. That is what I just advised Dr. Mahathvi also. That if you put in the whole amount before the 5th of May, you will earn interest for 1.5 lakh on the 11 months of the year, if not for the 12th month. You lost 1 month, that is not an issue. But still 11 is not much lesser than 12 months if we talk.
Right.
Yeah.
So because initially, long before, like when I met you and started attending your sessions, even I used to, give it in installments but after when I remember in one lecture when you said that it's better to give in one because of this benefit, and since then I also started. So even for today's lecture, like in my house, many times we have a debate why to invest in PPF. The return of interest is only 7%. But after today's session, maybe I can now persuade them and tell them why PPF is important.
Definitely. Everything has its own importance. It does not mean that you only look at the return part. There is a safety factor also. There is a guarantee factor also. There is a lock-in period also. There is an immunity factor also. So there are so many factors that you really need to look into when it comes to choosing your investments. If everything was to be invested in mutual funds, then everybody would be rich in stock market as well, which is not practically possible. Any more queries or we call it a day? Okay, then MPG guys, we meet today evening for the last session on loans part 3, and that will finish that as well. And then I have a break for some time from the webinars, and then we'll do it. Please do post your feedback in the WhatsApp group wherever you are. Thank you so much for your patient hearing, and all of you have a great day and an equally great weekend. So see some of you in the evening for the paid group session. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.